All right. Hey, Locker Room Nation, what's going on? I've got a very special guest with me today. You can see him right there. David Thompkins is joining us. And so this is going to be a part of a new series that we're doing featuring all of you, right? Each and every one of you who are out there working hard inside the Locker Room Nation. We want to hear from you. We want to feature you. So you're going to see more and more videos like this come out. So David is joining us today, and I'm going to cut right to it and say, David, thank you, first of all, for joining me. It's an honor and a privilege to be having this conversation with you, so thank you for that. And let's
Likewise.
just put it up, man. Just tell us who you are, tell us a little bit about yourself so everybody in the Locker Room Nation gets to know who you are.
Cool, thank you. David Thompkins. I work with Keller Williams, Western Montana, here in Missoula. I've only been doing realty. I've been a designated realtor since March. I got my license in December. So pretty fresh. Anything casual. I've founded an esports team. I cook a lot, 6 days a week. I'm just a typical dude, essentially.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, what's your current situation? What's your current business look like? Do you have a job? Are you full-time real estate? Tell us about that.
Well, I'm and I don't know how many of the other Locker Room Nation family that we have are in this basket, but I'm a dual career agent. Right now I work in construction, specifically drywall, and I definitely want to sell them more than I want to build them. So that's what I'm doing for work. I have 2 full-time jobs now with realty, but on the realty side, a lot's going on as well. I have 3 buyers signed that I'm working with right now. Countless leads. I do open houses every weekend, so I'm thankful that I have a lot of people to follow through with. My coach, Todd Archuleta, just nominated me for the Go for No award, which means a lot to me because as a dual career agent, it's hard to feel like you give your all. So, I'm just thankful that progress is made and that I'm still in it and I can keep going.
Yeah, I think that message resonates probably with a large percentage of them, David, that your dual career, and I appreciate you highlighting that because that's real. It's very seldom that somebody can leave their current job and just go all in with real estate day one.
Yeah.
From my understanding, you're working Monday through Friday, maybe even beyond that, but 9 to 5, you're doing drywall work. Is that right?
Yeah, Monday through Sunday. I mean, if you want to count it all, right? Drywall, I put in about 8 hours a day. Real estate, I can push anywhere to 4 or more. So 12-hour days are pretty common for me.
Yeah. And like you said, right now you're working with 3 active buyers. You were nominated for the Go for No award, which is simply somebody that we as coaches want to recognize who's out there grinding. They're hustling, and you deserve the recognition. Maybe sometimes the Go for No recipient is proof of incredible results, but it's not always. Sometimes it's just honoring the person who's in the trenches day in, day out, and maybe the results haven't quite shown up yet, but you're doing the work. And so we want to tip our cap to you for that. And you are getting results, man. I'm really excited to see that momentum in your business. So,
and that's what it is. It's real momentum, and that's why we keep going.
Right. Well, that brings me, I hope it's okay for me to ask this, but I'm just curious, what's your big why? Why did you do this? Because you're burning the candle at both ends right now, and you don't have to do this, right? But why real estate, and just in general, what's your big why?
Well, thank you so much for asking, because I can only hope that anyone listening to this can empathize to any degree. But 2 things about my big why. To put it bluntly, I need to be able to create and share security, because that was something that I wasn't afforded when I was growing up, was security, whether it was financially, emotionally, something like that. And just, at the basis of being a realtor, the cold hard fact is that no one owes us their business, right? We have to earn it. And to earn their business, their trust, professionally and personally, in such a vital way as helping them culture happiness and healthiness, which is really what a home is. And to earn that trust, to get in that door and to help someone with that, it means so much to me, considering where I came from and what I'll be able to do through this medium, through this job, which I hate calling it a job because I feel a lot more about it than that.
Yeah, it's a passion, man, and I appreciate you sharing that. I mean, you can hear the emotion in your voice when you share that. And so all the more reason that all of us need to slow down and just take time in life, that quiet time to ourselves, and really investigate what is our big why? What is our purpose in this world? And
Absolutely.
I think you've certainly found it, and you're on the right path, because guys, if you can hear our voices right now, I'll let you know, I've never met David. I don't really know. This is the first time we're really even dialoguing about this stuff.
True.
Yeah. And yet, just this morning, literally right now before recording this video, and I'm going to go off on just a brief thing here, I was talking with Mary Lou Dingman, fellow locker room coach out of the Raleigh, North Carolina area. We were reminiscing on her story as well as mine. Both of us got the opportunities that we're in today by showing up. Just by showing up. It's not like we had this big, long track record. I mean, we were all successful in our own rights, don't get me wrong. But you guys know my story. I've sold one home. And then I get a call to interview for the team leader role. Why? Because the OP said basically more or less that I was showing up. She observed my participation. Mary Lou won the mindshare battle of her market center's leadership when there was a vacancy for the coaching role. They immediately thought of Mary Lou. Why? Because she was at every training, and she was one of the top buyer's agents in the entire market center. So my point is, I'm talking with David right now. Why? Because he chose to show up. I don't know him from Adam, but I've seen him posting in the Locker Room Nation page with sharing videos. I've seen him posting on his own personal page, banging it out with open houses. David is showing up. And I know because of that, success is guaranteed for him in this business, period. So I just want to throw that out there. And again, kudos to you, David. Thanks for sharing that, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Of course. So next question is, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome so far? And how did you overcome it? Can you think back in your short time as a real estate agent now, and what's been the biggest challenge, and how did you overcome that challenge?
We've both touched on both sides of this. I said something like, it's hard to feel like you can give it your all, which is something that's very paramount for me, because I need to be able to look back and say I did everything I could. But the answer to that feeling right there is just to show up, and that's why Todd, at least in his words, gave me the Go for No award. He said it was because of tenacity, and among things, but tenacity, and I have to root myself in the fact that if I just keep at it, it will be okay, because you can't control the future. It hasn't happened. If you can do something now, no matter what it is, anything at all, even something small, reach out to someone, spark a conversation, get one of your contacts in for the day, anything. As long as you do something, you're doing better than nothing. And when you start hitting those little successes, they come quicker and they come easier, and you can build on them, and then you start getting bigger successes. And it's really hard to stop when you feel like you're doing the right thing.
I love that. And I don't want to give you the answer, but I can't help but ask, what did you learn from that experience of the struggle and overcoming it and working through it? Yeah. I wonder if you didn't answer my question of what you learn is just that, hey, look, as long as I'm consistent and show up every day, that's what I can control. Yeah. But what would you maybe say of what you learned about yourself through overcoming those struggles?
And I hope this resonates as well, because something that I've worked on a lot for myself through my life is confidence, having it and using it, because it's a part of the formula of success is confidence, to act with it, whatever confidence means to you. And the one thing I've learned is that, of course, if you do it, it will come, but I'm so thankful that results show up as well, because how many times do we feel like we put in what we can, what we got, even a little more, and it just didn't materialize the right way? But in this business, and I can only speak personally, it is an analog. What you put in is what you get out. And that's all any of us want out of life, because all of us want to put in good effort and get good results from it. Yeah. I think that's why a lot of people get into real estate, is to control that paradigm for themselves.
What I almost hear you saying, which I think is a valuable lesson for everybody else, because you're hitting on a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts, internal dialogue that's happening, which applies to every single person, by the way. But I think what you just hit on there is slowing down enough. With all this pressure that others are putting on us, and we're trying to live up to those expectations, not to mention the expectations that we're probably our own worst critics too. just
Yeah.
slowing down enough to celebrate the little mini victories.
Yes.
Of what maybe you haven't had a closing, but you've called 10 people today. You're working
Yeah.
with 3 buyers. There's so much good going on that you need to actually pay attention to that. Is that accurate for you?
Yes, and the thing is that even in the negative, there's positive, because it's been said through the Keller Williams family so many different ways, but every time we get a no, we're one step closer to a yes.
Yep.
Like, how many times have I done an open house where no one showed up, but the signs were out, the advertising was done, my name was there, the MLS was set up, right? And that's really the meat of the whole situation, is putting in the action, putting in the intent. And I mean, all I can speak to is what I know, but I have buyers and I have leads and I'm doing more every day.
Right. Love it, man. What are you most proud of?
Besides myself, at the risk of sounding ostentatious.
No, don't worry about it. We got to give ourselves that self-love.
Yeah. You do, especially when you don't get it in the past, right? This whole thing is about gaining control for ourselves, and I'm so proud of myself just for sticking through, because it is hard to put in that extra hour. Sometimes I'm also proud of the family that I've been so graciously adopted by, the locker room and the Keller Williams family, because in all honesty, the models and the support that I've received through this, I mean, I couldn't have gotten this far without all of that. And I pray everyone else is just abusing and using it to their fullest, because the formula of success is laid in front of us. We just have to interact with it.
I love it. I love it, man. I got a couple more questions for you, if that's all right. So what would you say is the biggest piece of advice for any fellow Locker Room Nation agent listening to us right now? What little bit of advice would you give them off the cuff?
Anything negative that you're feeling is completely normal. I mean, the growing, change, even good change, hurts. And the thing is that we have to shed some hurt before we gain a lot of that love. So I guess what I'm trying to say is you just have to keep at it. You have a full family of people who don't just support you, but are aching to see you succeed, because we're in it together.
Yep.
And if you can expose that and understand that, and even contribute just a small bit, I think you'd be really surprised at what'll come around to you, because there's power in the action and in the creation of that thought.
I couldn't echo that anymore. And I don't say this out of, looking for kudos or pat on the back, but I'm just bragging on the locker room coaches for a hot minute.
100%. They're all amazing.
Well, yeah, and I wish, and maybe there will be a day I do this, but I just wish for a day you guys could see. I'm talking to all Locker Room Nation agents, the conversations, the constant pushing amongst coaches to say, how can we better serve our people? That is it. You guys consume us, and it is painful and aching when people are not engaging or taking full advantage of the coaching or the locker room resources or whatever. We just want it so stinking bad for you guys. So, I appreciate you saying that. Last and final question, I think. What is, and this is a little self-serving, what is the biggest impact that you would say maybe the locker room as a whole has had on you, either personally and or professionally?
I'm sure most real estate agents at one point or another play with or use affirmations. And on the surface, it's incredible just the positivity that floods my life because of the locker room. Just the sayings, the quotes, the cheerleading. I mean, truly 100% positive, even through the negative. But beyond that, I think I mentioned something about the formula of success, and the locker room for new agents will lay that out for you. It will show you the formula, and it's just up to you to interact with it, whether it's the action plan workbook or anything else among the vast resources. I mean, scripts, anything. I mean, what else can you say? It's the foundation for mechanics and systems that will benefit you for the rest of your career.
Yeah, that and you and every single person, if you're in the locker room, you've got an incredible coach. I mean, Todd is the real deal. His heart's bigger than you know, Todd has a passion and a heart for serving you and the other agents there. So we gotta certainly give him credit, as we all have, for a lot of that too. So thank you.
100%. Thank you so much, Todd.
Well, I told you, David, and I told the group that we want to keep these short, succinct, to the point, and so I'm going to deliver on that. I have no idea how long it's been, but this was amazing, man. And I just want to thank you again for being you, being true to yourself, being authentic, being vulnerable, for sharing some of your story, because I really got to believe it resonates with a strong majority. And I'm not knocking this, but I think the more we can bring stories like this to light, instead of going to events like the big conventions and seeing the top dogs on stage day in, day out, we find ourselves in judgment. We find ourselves comparing. And whatever, I'm not here to say if it's good or bad or indifferent, but the reality is I want to isolate these stories, the ones that maybe aren't told on stage, at least not yet, because I think you'll be on stage one of these days. However, I just want to thank you on behalf of the entire locker room, man, for this, and just encourage you every step of the way. We're here for you above and beyond Todd and anybody else in your corner in your local market center. Reach out to us. We're forever in your corner. We're rooting for you. I'm watching you and so many others from a distance, and just can't thank you enough for the time.
Likewise, and I'm willing to extend everything you have to anyone else too. So just know that I'll meet anyone across that bridge halfway.
You got it, man. All right, buddy. Well, I know you got to get to work, so.
Yes, I do.
Yes. All right, man. Well, thank you so much. Have a great day. See you guys later, Locker Room Nation.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.